Antonio, last I saw you was 29th of May 2023, and here we are now in July of 24. So over a year since then. And back then, during that interview, you had made 2,000 euros over a span of 6 months, I believe it was. That was your
Yeah.
situation back then. Here we are a year later. What's been going on with you?
All right. So I actually a lot. I kept on actually applying the professor's lessons, but due to some, how would you say, immaturity from my side, I there was so much information within the real world that I found myself um, peeking, sneaking into other campuses, other info, and I found out that that was just taking away my time to just focus on the one business that was already working basically. So I took some time out, but then I realized that I also um, tried to do it on my own, but I realized that the only things that were working were actually all the lessons applied from the campus. So I said, you know what, I might go there and just commit to only focus on one channel, one campus, one professor, and that ended up by skyrocketing my sales because I just increased the price. Like Professor Harno says, how to conduct yourself on a sales environment. And yeah, that led me to do quite a comeback, I'd say.
Okay. First thing is, last time you were doing freelancing, is it same business model or did you move on to something else in that period of time?
No, met, I actually met a guy that is now my business partner. And we basically turned that freelancing gig into an actual agency. We help MedSpa increase revenue. Okay, we add revenue straight to their bottom line. Um, and now it's actually a business. We have employees now, and but it was all over the place. We'll get a client there, then for 2 months nothing. While now, applying um, all the outreach mastery classes from Professor Arno, we now have built, I'd say, an acquisition system for ourselves. To generate leads, sales calls, and then from there, actual clients, paying clients.
Mhm. So quite substantial improvements in that. Do explain some more on when you turned it into an agency. What were the first things you implemented? What did you see the most results from as well? What implementations?
Oh, so it was basically thinking like I owned a business and not that just was a sole trader doing gigs here and there. And that also made me realize, because I was thinking, I'm young and people see me as young, so they're not gonna take me seriously. And so that was why since I started doing freelancing and kept on doing that. But when I started taking things seriously as a business owner, I realized even my clients, like the youngest is like 20 years older than me, and not even once they downplayed me or undervalued my competence, my skills, because all they could see was my results, my case studies, the way I conduct myself, um, the way I talk, and the knowledge I have in the market, in which I serve them basically. And yeah, that was also skyrocketed by all the, again, Arnold's classes. He actually is the best professor there. I like the way
You've been
he conducts
indoctrinated
himself.
by honor.
Yeah. It worked so well. Like in 1 month, I literally applied everything he said in the course. I did a rundown of all the classes. I remember some of them, but there was of course some new lessons, and I applied them like and just clicked.
Uh, I do want a bit more in depth there. Which courses was it from Business Mastery that had the biggest impact then?
So it was two actually. It's the outreach mastery and
Mhm.
the sales mastery. So all the nuances, um, don't fanboy, all that. sales techniques and mostly the not to do's, like the things to avoid, I'd say, because I found myself doing some of them, to because I felt I had to overcompensate for the fact I was young, but
Mhm.
I actually didn't, and it worked out fine.
Okay. And how did that result in increasing your income? So last time, as I said previously, you were at 2000. What are you at now?
So I cashed in the last 30 or 40 days around 12,000 euros, and that was just by making sure my clients knew my worth, and by that I mean firstly me realizing my worth because of the bottom line increased other business. So it just made sense to increase the prices because I used to sell for low recurring services. I'm talking like below 500 a month, but I was adding. I mean we add to businesses between 6 to 20K a month in revenue. So it just made sense to increase the price there. And
Mhm.
when I sold a yearly plan to a client, explained everything, conducted the sales call like Arno says it to do, and that resulted in this achievement, which is insane for me. I mean, that's like 5 times my dad's plus my mom's wage. So I live in Italy. I don't know if there's going
Mhm.
to be viewers, of course, from Italy, but the living wage in Italy is like 1,200 a month.
Mhm.
And as a 22 years old uni dropout, I managed to cash in 12K, and there's actually 5,000 waiting. It's going to be the last installment from the annual plan, due to by the end of July. So
Super
that's, yeah.
solid. Mhm.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Um, how did you land that client then? Would you be able to run us through a step by step? Like, how did, if you went on a sales call, how did the sales call go? How did
Sure.
you pitch? And
So yeah, this is a client actually we've been working with for 6 months now, and the very first sale we got on this client was through follow up. Actually, we now close clients. I believe if I look at the stats, 95% of our closes are through follow up because we can't close on the first sales call, because
Mhm.
I mean in the market there's lots of marketing agencies that burned the space, at least in my area, in my niche, and we just follow up. We engage with the client, and as Arno says it, you follow up until they die. So uh, we did just as that. We closed in the first sale, something small to prove them that we could do the job. They were happy. We renewed the contract, but it was keeping those small monthly only when they needed that extra revenue. But then I applied all of Arno's sales mastery classes, and I said, okay, we need to close in on a yearly plan with this client because they're getting good results. We're working them fine with them. We have a nice relationship, so I might as well um, open a sales call. And actually, what I did was I pitched them the annual plan, and then the possibility to for her to partner up with me, since she has a very big med spa, and it's recognized in the whole Italian country basically because she does like 600K a year, and for med spa the average med spa makes 70 to 80K a year. So we're gonna actually I pitched there that we could partner up to do training to other med spa owners to increase the bottom line. So she's gonna have some rev share there if she brings us clients, and
Mhm.
that way I told her I'm gonna on my expenses I'm gonna fly to you. We're gonna record. Those are actually on my social media accounts. We recorded a case study video with her in person. That's something no agency does in my country. So they're all behind the screen, which is fine to work remotely because you can save a lot of time. But for this type of relationships, you need to build them in person, I believe. Especially in
Mhm.
Italy, it's an old school country, and she liked that a lot, and that's how I actually closed the deal, because I actually closed it in person, not in the sales call over Zoom.
A very unique way. Super cool to hear. I like that. Sounds good. And you, as you said, it works. So I want to. We've spoken quite a bit about money now. So I want to know about you, Antonio. Over the past year, what kind of changes have you noticed in yourself? Let's say mentally, physically, just in any way.
All right, so mentally, I I realized, and I had the chance to prove it to myself, that I can, keep calm and ice cold when everyone else would have panicked, both for stressful situations to to family issues that I won't go deep now, but also social situations, something at at the bar, someone picking on your girl, picking on your boys, keeping the cool there and managing the situation from top, like you have a 35,000 foot view on everything. Um, that led me to control the room everywhere I am, even if I am with 40 years old, 50 years old, because I found myself to have those type of people around me because I try to network with other business owners, and nobody seems to be as young as me in this in where I live. So yeah, I try to not outshine the master, as the book says, but I, as mentally, that's the main thing. I learned a lot in the actually in the influencer speaking channel, how to talk, how to um, be seen, but not don't be over the board. While physically, I started training boxing, and that was like one of the I always wanted to fight, like not even maybe not even professional, maybe as an amateur. By my parents didn't let me. There was just play soccer, and as soon as I turned 18, I started train boxing. And there's not fight gyms here, so we spar with friends, but I've seen a lot of improvements there as well, because when you're in a social setting, you're not afraid, insecure anymore, because if things need to go that way, you can handle it. You can take a punch, as you can say. And
Right.
but yeah, I mean, that helps me a lot because I train. That's the first thing I do in the morning, and I it gives me so much energy for the day, and I'm so grateful for having the chance to train as much as I do, because I train like 5 6 days a week.
Mhm. Solid. You mentioned parents, so that reminded me when you made the 12K, when that was confirmed, that came into your bank account. Did you tell your parents about that? And if so, how did they react to it?
Well, a year ago was, I'm gonna just be like, don't don't go lean onto this, because I was still, considering dropping out of uni. I didn't actually drop out, but I knew. I mean, all I needed was having one person to trust me enough for my skills, my competence, to send their own hard-earned money to me in exchange for whatever the service was back then. And that was all I needed to know. Okay, this can work. I just need to realize how to scale it, how to improve it, improve the results for my clients, improve my sales, building a team. And so that was their first reaction. And even to the numbers I'm making right now, I'm always trying to keep them always ready. I mean, I always tell them what I do. They know everything. I'm transparent with them with this. And but they're always kind of, I feel like they're waiting for me to for everything to stop working so I can go back to uni, but that's never gonna happen.
Mhm. Especially now with the client you have, there'll be an additional testimonial, potential referral. There's a lot of opportunities that can come from it, and you just keep scaling further and further. So this is like you've gone through the starting point now, and you're hitting the curve where it just starts going exponential. So I'm sure that'll be the case for you. And then once they see that, they'll be like, ah, turns out he knew what he was doing all along.
Yeah, no, I
So
know
yeah.
it's gonna happen. I mean, I have a roadmap of all the money I'm making right now. They're all gonna be saved for them for some big brands because also for the English I am able to speak. It's all for them because they invested in me. They make me study 1 year abroad. That's why I can speak English decently, I'd say. And I mean, I all the money I make until I can properly give back to them, I'm not gonna go and enjoy it myself.
Mhm. That's beautiful. Um, how different? Actually, let's go with this. You said roadmap. So how much can you say about the plans you have for future? Let's say short term, medium term, long term. What does that roadmap look like?
Well, my short term goal. I'm talking when I talk short term, it's actually wait 1 year goal. Okay, I don't have anything shorter than that. Shorter than that is just daily goals to achieve the 1 year plan, and that is to build a team that can make the business work without me being in there every day. And I mean, I can say in sales, but for the type of partnership I'm building with business with med spa owners, I'm going to be like doing live events to train at med spa owners out to the bottom line. So I will need a team to manage all of the rest. So that's my 1 year goal. And revenue wise, that would equate to at least 100K a month just from this business.
Hmm. So,
Then yeah, then as a medium term goal, it would be I wouldn't have a time frame. It just depends on how much of that revenue equates to profit for me. Okay, because at the beginning I'm just looking at getting recognized as an industry expert throughout the country, and basically all I'm making I'm reinvesting it back into the business. So basically now all the revenue is being reinvested in ads, doing live events and that type of stuff, and acquiring hiring high quality staff. That's expensive as well because good people needs good salary. And medium term would be to move all that money into real estate because I have some connections due to my father's network that would allow me um, to get into this market, which requires some capital, I'd say. And
mhm,
yeah, that would be the medium term goal. I'm thinking 3 to 5 years there. And long term goal would be like complete financial independence, like within 10 years from now.
mhm.
Like
Which,
money sitting in the
considering the
bank.
trajectory you're on, is completely achievable.
Yeah, I know it is, and there's going to be tough times. I'm ready for that. I'm all for it.
Mhm. You seem to have the mindset for it. So yeah, I have no doubt as well that there's definitely what you envision is very likely to come true. Now, for the real world, are there any other lessons you're going through, or would you consider like all the useful ones you've gone through already?
Well, no, there's way more. I'm actually both applying for the council and I've actually been accepted. I'm waiting for the due diligence to go through, and because that's going to be the next level. But I'm finding some very valuable insights from their most recent campus, the AI automation campus, because that basically allowing me to automate like 80% of my delivery. Now I have my business partner. We were hiring media buyers, and now he's managing all of the clients like 10 minutes each per day. And we're saving so much time on that and increasing the results at the same time. And of course, about Arno, yeah, I have so many lessons to go over that I didn't yet. There's also the ones from Tristan, the social setting. I like those, and I mean, those transfer so well to sales, especially since I'm going to do in-person sales. Contenting yourself like Christian does, that's can only help. I mean, that can only help.
Awesome. Okay. Let's see. Is there anything else? Uh, do you want to go into at all why you left for some period, left the reward, or is that more confidential?
Well, it was a combination of things that, I mean, at the end of the day, looking at it now, it was just excuses. Okay, I mean, because it could have only helped. I mean, it was the only thing helping actually. But I had stopped the business for a period due to my, I let my parents convince me to go back and taking exams at uni. Okay, and at the same time, it was a period that med spas don't have clients, so I couldn't close them because I couldn't deliver in the within the trials I was offering at the time, and all of that. Adding with the fact that there was so much info I was getting, that shiny object, I couldn't. Yeah, I wasn't mature enough to to keep away from this shiny object syndrome, and that led me to, what, I'm just gonna pause it for a while, and when I get back on track, I'm gonna join back. And I mean, that's actually what I did, and it turned out I paid well. Like the very first month I rejoined, because I actually renewed the subscription. I was the first week of June, so like, yeah, a month ago.
Hmm. And yeah, so as you said, it was in the 30 past 30 to 40 days that you got the 12K.
Yeah, it was
So
basically
that would have been from, yeah, from when you joined back.
yeah, I remember. Sorry if I interrupted you. It was I believe it was the first weekend I joined. All I didn't even go out on Saturday night. All I did was watch Arno's lessons. I rewatched all the sales mastery classes, because on the Monday, I had to pitch the idea I talk about to the for the annual plan to the client. So over the
Mhm.
weekend, I studied all of Arno's lessons, and then I did whatever I all all of that I talked earlier about. Pitching the idea to partner up with that med spa owner, and flying to her and do the case study.
Mhm. Okay. I think I can wrap up there then for this follow up. Is there anything that still comes to mind, or have you discussed everything at this point for our yearly follow up?
Well, I'd say I hope. Well, I'll make sure for the next follow up will be at the 100K mark per month.
I like that. I'll hold you to it. That would be a very cool story. So, considering where you came from the first interview at 2K, then this one you making 12K, then yeah, next one 100K per month. That's a true success story right there. So yeah, look forward to that. And now to wrap everything up, same question I would have asked you last time. For people who are unsure about joining the real world because they're thinking, it must be a scam for $50. What advice would you have to those people?
Well, it is. I believe it's so cheap because they couldn't make it cheaper. Like, you cannot really joining. I mean, you wasted. That's what I thought the first time I ever joined. I mean, you waste $50 for way dumber stuff, and for the amount of information that is inside, whatever interests you might have regarding business, even if you have a business, because there's stuff to scale it, manage it properly. But even if you have to start from scratch, even if you're like on your last $50, there's campuses for that. And I mean, I can only recommend it. I mean, you can see 1 year ago, there's my video making 2K over the span of 6 months. Now I'm closing 12,000 within 30 to 40 days. And even those 2K, I mean, on a $50 a month investment, is still a good ROI if you ask me. So That's what I'd say.
Mhm. Okay, so thank you. And for people who want to find out more about you or contact you, would you have something to give, or do you prefer to stay anonymous in that sense?
No, it's fine. You can see my rise in real time. So if you wanna look at my agency account, it's Medic Media Italia. So it's MEDICMEDIAITALIA on Instagram. You just follow me there, and you'll see the rise of the agency over the next
Awesome.
few months.
We'll add that to the description video, so anyone who's interested can check that. And yeah, Antonio, thank you for sharing your progress over the past year. It
Pleasure.
was really cool to see um, the post you made in the real world of you coming back, earning the money, um, and this time actually message me so I don't miss you, because I think it was kind of a coincidence that I actually saw that post and I'm like, we need to do that follow up. So for next one, actually let me know
Yeah.
once you've hit the mark. Message me. We'll do a really cool follow up. And until then, I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Been a pleasure.